In the red house on the left, the fairy writer Hans Christian Andersen wrote some of his fairy tales. Straight ahead, Christiansborg Palace. We're going to pass a special area, which is called Christiania. Once it was the barracks of the Navy, but suddenly left by the Navy, and then suddenly inhabited by young people. And it was called a social experiment. But I don't think it is a social experiment longer. Now you can find hash in here and some crime.
First time when I came to Christiania, I will show you a bench where I slept one night. It was maybe 35 years ago. Christiania was very young. First night I came here 2 or 3 o'clock in the night and I slept on this bench. Now it's snow, but I put my head here, I put my blanket on me, and I slept here. And the birds were singing in the morning, and I woke up. So I'm very much grateful to this bench. This Christiania is an old military base. When army left these caserns, these houses, there was space, and people squatted.
Er det ikke bare fantastisk? Her ligger Christiania, og det har ligget her i snart 19 år. Det ligger bare i den smukkeste bydel. København ligger 5 minutter fra centrum. Jeg vil bare ønske, at alle andre i hele verden ville have det lige så godt, som vi havde det.
1 year before Christiania, there was a camp in Jutland, the biggest part of Denmark, where 10,000 people more or less lived together for a month. That created the idea, well, this should be going on, you know. We should have our own little republic or free state or free city. Then this military barracks, which are 34 acres big, and situated on the old city walls of Copenhagen with the old moat in front of it. And that was emptied by the military, and it was empty for nearly 1 year. And the local people started to move in and got thrown out again. And then there was this situation that there was an underground paper. They did an article called Immigrate with Bus Number 8 to Christiania. And within 1 or 2 weeks, like 400 people, they moved from all over Copenhagen into this military barracks.
And some of the soldiers or the officers said, "Oh, we didn't care, let the young people stay there." Then more and more came in.
És akkor volt egy nagyon jó miniszterelnöke Dániának, újságíró volt eredetileg, és azt mondta, hogy milyen hely, parlamentben elkezdett téma lett, és hogy milyen helyesek ezek a fiatalok, adjuk nekik.
If this would be organized later as a suburban city with huge skyscraper houses, then the city should take all the soil away. Because here we have on the other side this bullet factory, so there is poisons on like almost everywhere. So that's why there is not much gardens here. We should take all the soil away and put some clean humus instead, and that's very expensive.
Jeg flyttede herud med min mor og min storesøster i 71. Og det var fantastisk at komme herud dengang. Jeg var 4 år gammel. Det var en stor legeplads. Der var ikke så mange mennesker, som der er nu. Men alle vidste, hvem jeg var. Fordi der var ikke så mange små børn. Og vi kunne, også de små børn, vi kunne gå ind alle steder. Så det var fantastisk at komme sådan et sted hen som Christiania.
We have kindergarten, we have all the institutions for children under 7, and they're working really good. There was some people who once tried to make a school that didn't work. And most of us think it's okay when kids are 7. You know, you shouldn't make a little swipe in here, and it's good that they come out between other children.
Christiania is divided up in 14 small areas, which actually have self-governing. So we have meetings mostly one time a month, and where you take care of all the problems or issues which is a matter for the community.
And then there's a common meeting, so-called, which is a meeting for all of Christiania. The common meeting is normally called when we had problems with authorities outside, or when we had problems, basic problems with maybe hard drugs, maybe violence, whatever.
We have like a common saying which you can do whatever you want to do.
As long as you don't interrupt other people in doing what they want.
Nagyon egyszerű képlet ez a krisztiániai gondolat, ez egy ilyen pozitív keresztény gondolkodás, nem? Szeresd a fele barátodat, hagyd békén a másikat. Az, hogy meg van fűszerezve egy kis fűvel vagy hasissal, az tényleg egy ilyen secondary, egy másodlagos dolog.
Black sheep from all classes united. You had people from high-class milieus, from very low-class, social outcast milieus. You had people in between. You have many students at that time. But just because it was a very mixed milieu, I think that was the strength of Christiania. It was not just some kind of hippies with the same family backgrounds or educational backgrounds.
Vi er jo næste hold. Vi er en stor gruppe af christianitter, som bygger meget herude. Og det er en nødvendighed, fordi husene har en stand. Ikke kun fordi det er meget gamle huse. Der er mange af de fleste af dem er over 100 år gamle. Der er også nogen, der bygger nye huse.
Something new buildings going on, transforming an old house wagon to something new. And this guy, he's want to make the house here. He will go to the neighbors, and then he will say, "Hey, I'd like to do this and this," and they say, "Oh, that's a good idea." Or they say, "Well, can you do it like a little bit more like that?" And then they make agreement on how it should be done.
People living in Christiania, we pay like 300 euros a month to live in Christiania, no matter where we live or how we live or whatever, but 300 euros each person.
There used to be a similar house, but it was very old and rotten. And he got this support from the community, so he'll have like 2/3 of the cost paid by the community for the materials. We actually was like 100 people here, and we made the house in 3 days, and then it was like tremendous work, you know, and it was fun to be a part of.
Then, of course, very important is that we don't own this place, and we don't own our houses. So private ownership is not connected to the ground or to the living spaces in Christiania. I built this house myself during the years, but the day I move out or deceased or die or whatever, the day I leave this house, it's my neighbors who decide who's moving in.
It is so freezing cold. Maybe I find some gloves somewhere. Let's try dumpster diving. This up here, when I leave Christiania, I always leave something here. I share it with somebody. And now I wish that somebody has left there at least one glove. I don't freeze so much. Let's see. Some shoes here. Well, now it's first snow here, so this is for next summer. Okay, right hand. And now, maybe I found something else. Left hand glove. Allahu Akbar. Heaven gives. So I have gloves for left hand and right hand. I'm happy. This is Christiania.
próbálj meg beköltözni. Nem fogsz tudni.
This Christiania is a community. 1,000, I think 1,500 people. There's a new law. They cannot take any new citizens. So people who wish to join Christiania live around Christiania in the houses or in the forest, camping area and so on.
The best way to get into Christiania is to work in maybe Moonfish, maybe one of the workshops, whatever. Or take part in political work or whatever. Get yourself known by the Christiania people, and then when, like, I moved out, there will be a meeting, there will be like 20 people say, oh, I want to live in that house. Then people will prefer people they know.
I find my wife here, and then I moved here, and that's actually the easiest way to go to Christiania.
Hát én 85-ben voltam először itt, akkor arra gondoltam, hogy milyen jó, hogy nem 72-ben, mert akkor még mindig itt lennék.
Min historie på Christiania er jo vældig lang. Men her, som lige nu, hvis jeg skal sige, hvorfor jeg er her lige nu, så føler jeg selv, at jeg har ikke haft andre chancer for rigtig at kunne komme til og forsøge at trives med den kunst, jeg gerne vil leve med, og leve i dagligdagen med de ting i øjnene, som giver mig inspiration til at lave kunst. Og der mener jeg, at det, man har i øjet her, er så meget.
If you walk around, use your eyes, you can see that art is very much part of our daily life.
Now it's a fantastic time for painting just now. You don't feel cold when you paint. The colors are so clear, and the stories, you see the stories on the Christiania walls are coming out, and sometimes the green is too green, sometimes the sun is too sharp. I had an exhibition at Budapest the other day.
Really?
In the WAM Center, the Christiania artist.
Yeah.
Ahogy én a pletykákat ismerem, már senki nincs az alapítók közül a képlapnak. Olyanok vannak, akik az első vagy második év óta laknak itt, de olyan, aki a legelejétől, olyan egy sincs.
Og musicals, det var der meget af i gamle dage på Christiania. Der var en gruppe, der hed Solvognen, som var meget aktive, meget politiske. Og der var min mor og min søster også med, og jeg var selvfølgelig også med. Børnene er jo en del af livet. Men det var hårdt som barn også at skulle være med i sådan en stor musical. Også fordi jeg havde en af de seneste scener i den store musical, der hed Elverhøj. Det var sådan, at jeg faldt i søvn på scenen, mens min mor sad og sang godnatsang for mig, så det har nok virket ret livagtigt, fordi sådan var det. Jeg faldt i søvn, og det skulle jeg.
Stenene, de sover under jorden, og fuglene på deres gren. Katten, den ligger og spinner i søvne, og gaber og strækker sit ben.
In the 77, 78, it was too dark, too many junkies, too much shit. No, I didn't like it. You know, I'm part-time photographer, so I was asked to do reportage on this junk blockade, and I started doing that, and within 4 days I was part of it. Christiania becomes, very close when you move in. You spend a couple of 3 years, just getting to know everybody and finding out what's happening and trying out everything in Christiania before you sort of land yourself and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and these are the people I like, and so on.
Ez egy nagyon demokratikusan felépült közösség volt. Ők adtak helyet annak a rengeteg nuknak, eszkimónak, akik ide jönnek Grönlandról.
Ja, Christiania er jo i virkeligheden et minisamfund, og vi har vores egne institutioner. Vi har for eksempel et byggekontor, og en kloakgruppe, og en gartnergruppe, og en overelektriker har vi også. Og vi har en økonomigruppe, som sørger for at tage sig af den husleje, som beboerne indbetaler, og den interne moms, som virksomhederne indbetaler til vores fælles kasse hver måned. Så har vi et postkontor, som sørger for at fordele den post, der kommer udefra hver dag. og vi har sågar vores eget frimærke til den interne postordning.
Those people who work in Christiania, when their wage is paid in this Christiania coin or currency, then this currency can be used everywhere inside Christiania. You can go to the bakery, you can go to the grocery shop, you can go to anywhere, any of these small shops or workshops in Christiania. That creates suddenly a circulation of money, which raises the amount of money or the wealth which is bound inside Christiania.
I was a teacher at that time, and I was still a teacher for 1 year when I stopped being a teacher because there was too much to do here. I've been bartender, kitchen cook, hairdresser, even working in the bath house. There's always something to do.
We are very famous for what we do, and there's not many who's doing that. It wouldn't function out in the countryside. It has to be connected to a big city. And this is the advantage of having a community like this in the big city. This one is made, that won the first prize in the competition in 1901 and was produced in 1905. And this is a guy called Torvald Jørgensen who made this, and he's the one who made the parliament in Copenhagen as well. Actually, it started because there was a need in Christiania to get stoves for heating because there was no other kind of heating out here. There was no electrical heating and so on. You couldn't use electricity because the electricity couldn't take it here, and no central heating systems, etc. And then it developed into something else. Now we don't sell that much in Christiania anymore, but we sell all over the world instead.
So just stay a little over there. Okay, okay. And don't be afraid. I have been living here for 23 years. I remember when I saw first time a blacksmith, I think there were so many possibilities, and then I get the possibilities to start to learn to weld. And when I tried first time, I was like, this is fantastic, and this is the way I want to live my life. This place, we make all kind of different things. We make everything for repairing a bike sometimes, to sculptures, to art and furnitures for hotel, cafes and restaurants. We are only women, and but we have one man working here, and it's actually the man who have been making this bike, and it's one of the bike Christiania is famous for. It called Pedersen bikes.
Oh, there's a wonderful Christiania bike. People go here by bike. Only very heavy transportation is done by car.
And now, you know, everybody is using them in town and Copenhagen around, and they sell different places in the world too. So it's one of the things Christiania is very famous for. But they're not making them here in Christiania anymore. The people who started with the bikes, they have the factory in Bornholm now.
Itt jön haza egy igazi Christiania. Egész nap a városba dolgozott, és szorgalmasan, és most megy haza, és megfőzi a vacsorát a gyerekeknek. Szerintem egy ilyen kispolgári társaság él itt, aki ugyanúgy, mint a másik utcába köszön a szomszédjának, elsepri a havat az ajta elől, karácsonykor átvisz egy társüteményt a másiknak.
We like tourists. People coming into Christiania, that's really important for Christiania's life. We started a group of people back in '82 to take care of tourists in groups.
Jeg har boet på Christiania siden jungblokaden i 1979, og jeg er bygningssnedker og historiker. Og ved siden af det, så har jeg et job som underviser. Og vi kan ikke lide, at holdstørrelserne de bliver på mere end 10-15 stykker. Fordi det er ligesom om, vi kommer til at forstyrre for meget i Christiania.
They pay like how much? 5 euros, and then they get a tour around in 2 hours and get a lot of explanations.
Dengang narkomanerne var her, ikke? Der var det sådan så, at de havde ødelagt bygningen totalt. Alle tekniske installationer var ødelagt, ikke? Og man begynder så at sætte det i stand igen, ikke? Og det er selvfølgelig først og fremmest det indvendige, man sætter i stand.
And that's become a big success. We started it because most of the time the media only writes about Christiania when there's something wrong. So we started it as a means to tell people what is Christiania.
Nu sker der noget derovre. Det er tit, der er politirejser på Christiania. Så farer man rundt og leder efter hashbusserne.
In the end of the 70s, Christiania got into big problems with drugs. Cocaine and heroin was introduced in Europe in big scale. And it was cheap and easy, and many people came to Christiania because they were drug addicts, and this was a nice place to be a drug addict. So in the end of the 70s, we had a big heroin market in Christiania.
En af årsagen til, at vi fik så meget hård narkotika på Christiania, sådan set var, at politiet sagde til narkomanerne, at hvis de ville have fred for terror på Nørrebro og Vesterbro, så skulle de bare tage ud på Christiania. Det gjorde de dengang. Det fandt vi ud af. Det fik vi at vide af folk, som kom ud fra Nørrebro og Vesterbro, at politiet havde sagt til dem, at de skulle bare tage herud, fordi så ville de slippe for problemer. Og det betød jo selvfølgelig, at Christiania fik gigantiske sociale problemer med den hårde narkotika.
Within 1 year, from the summer 78 to the summer 79, 10 people died from the misuse of hard drugs. So in the autumn 79, Christiania established a blockade against hard drugs.
Those of us who had nothing to do with cannabis selling, we will support you in the way that we will allow you to sell cannabis, but nothing else, as long as you support us in keeping the hard drugs out. Those people who have been standing over the years in Pusher Street, they have also been the ones who have been kicking out people who have been trying to sell hard drugs, because we don't want any hard drugs out here, and there are no hard drugs.
Vi lavede så mere og mere indendørsteater, vi lavede flere musicals, og den sidste sådan rigtig store, det var Det Hvide Slot, der handlede om, hvordan de hårde stoffer, junken, kom ind i ungdomsmiljøet og ødelagde det.
Another thing was then when the hash market started to take away, some biker club came and took over most of the market, bullshit they were called, and they were in a gang war with Hells Angels.
The bullshit guys were very poor, they didn't have bikes, and they had. But they found out, hey, we go to Christiania and sell hashes, and then we make a lot of money, and then we can buy a big house for ourselves, and we can get guns, and we can get bikes, and so on. In '85, actually, nearly everybody in Christiania, now it's too much. They're too much. There was rape and killings and stuff, you know. So we had a big meeting, and we made an agreement with bullshit. Don't wear your marks. Don't have to carry weapons. Accept Christiania's ideas of non-violence.
Det er god hast, mand.
Ja, du hitter her med den, mand.
Police actually made a special Christiania patrol. 40 volunteers. You know, yes, I like to go to Christiania to make those fuckers understand. You know? 14 volunteers in 92. And that was a lot of trouble. They were going on for 16 months. And we had tear gas, we had trouble, we had so much trouble. In the end, the Minister of Justice, he stopped it. He said, this is just like the Palestine and Israel, it carries nothing good. So it was stopped, this patrol.
Ez is egy édes performance volt, hogy mint a lovak után mentek söprővel és takarítottak.
Behind the camera, you cannot turn the camera that way, is Pusher Street. And Pusher Street is forbidden to make photos. On Pusher Street there are maybe 20 or 30 or 50 men pushing or selling drugs.
Det er hash, ikke? Normalt så kan vi se det i meget større klumper, ikke? Når politiet ikke er her. Det bliver altså solgt her, ikke? I Pusher Street, ikke?
I found out that a pusher down there working for 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, is making the same as I am doing as a computer consultant.
Ezek a drug dealerek.
Christiania have this rule that if you are selling hash, you have to live on Christiania. They want to provide good hashes for everybody else, and they call themselves for the first line of defense of Christiania.
The government, all the time come here with the police, and it makes a bad story for Christiania. I mean, make it free so they can sell it everywhere and people can smoke if they like, because this is where the police come and run inside here, and it's not nice for the town.
So here we is it later maybe? Inside here we have a marketplace for organic food and organic meals, and I like it very much. But why we cannot use cameras here? People are very sensitive here. Cannabis makes egoism very high.
Inside this tent and inside this area, this is part of the Reclaim Power.
It was a very fine evening with discussions and music afterwards. And then suddenly, when we were in the tent, we heard there was some maybe loud explosion from firecrackers.
So this is actually a shelter for people who don't want to participate in this kind of stuff.
Sudden tear gas started to come into the tent. It was not right outside, but it came flowing through Christiania. Then some of us went outside and we could see there were burning barricades, and some people also had set fire to some cars. And I went down there, I could hear it was some activists. Some of them were Italians, I could hear. Some of them came from other countries. And they had gathered out here. They just wanted to fight the police for some reason.
Provoke the police come into Christiania and they hide between everybody else and everybody get arrested. What's the idea?
There were no people from Christiania taking part of it.
Nem voltam itt, de hülyeségnek tartom, szóval miért kell felgyújtani egy autót, akármennyire is büdös, azért egy nagyszerű találmány, nem?
In a way of sense, we understand these anarchist people and left-wing radicals, because we fight for the same values in different ways, and it doesn't mean that we support
riots in the street, not at all.
This is something we over and over again have to say to others. Christiania has only survived because we have always been able to get sympathy from our surroundings. The late 1980s, there came a new generation into Christiania, a new generation of squatters. They've been in heavy fightings with the police, and they have been thrown out of their houses. They came out here and they continued fighting the police whenever they had the chance. When there came police cars passing by, they were throwing stones at them. And we said to them, hey, you must stop this. If you continue throwing stones at the police and one policeman is hit and maybe is killed, that will be the end of Christiania. Stop it. And then some of that, you fucking shitting old man. I was 42. You don't know how Christiania started. We have been able to keep the pigs out by building barricades and using Molotov cocktails. You just shut up. And I said, now come on. I've been here from the very start, visiting Christiania and living here. Now I have to make a film to tell how did it all start.
Christianias største våben, det er arbejdshæren. Arbejdshæren lover til enhver tid at bygge 3 huse på hvert hus, der bliver revet ned over vores hoveder. Selvom regeringen skulle finde på at sige, at det vi bygger er brandfarligt, umenneskeligt, uhumsk, dårligt og nedværdigende for mennesket, vil vi postulere, at der er ikke andet, der duer, end det mennesket bygger op. Uden diktater for oven. Christiania bygger op, og vi gør det nu, og vi gør det her. Og vi vender os mod vores arbejde og går til arbejdet. Velkommen.
Egyszerre csak elkezdtek, itt lehet látni egy pár új házat, hogyha kimegyünk. Ezekre haragszanak a krisztiániaiak is például. Saját teniszpálya, saját villák. Ezek tök modern, szuper lakások, mindenfajta engedély nélkül épültek, ami teljesen normális Christianiában, de az szemet szórt például a városnak, hogy itt most már nem csak kis bódékat építenek, meg ilyen vicces haibákat, hanem szupervillákat. És rájöttek, hogy azt inkább ők szeretnének itt építeni. Szintén meg lehet érteni.
In 2004, they split the collective. They said, we don't recognize that Christiania is a collective.
Most már vége van, szóval hiába van még itt, ez már nem az, ez már nincs sajnos. Hát mert jogilag már ez nem igaz, mert most már ők nem független városállam, az megszűnt sajnos. Mint lakóközösség tudnak fellépni a érdekeikért.
Everybody has built houses. Now they come and say, yeah, get out. We want this and we put a price on it and then you have to pay. I mean, people have been paying for 38 years now and then they go and steal the whole system. No compensation, nothing.
Egy csomó házat lebontottak, meg terveznek még többet lebontani, és hamarosan elkezdenek építkezni. És lesznek luxusvillák. Ez a legjobb hely a városban.
The future is not very bright, but a lot of people is ready to fight. And it's gonna be a fight which they would not like to see.
Most egy picit jobban áll a helyzet a bíróságon, és most a legfelsőbb bíróságra várnak, meg a királynőre, és nagyon bíznak egy pozitív döntésben. Amit én kívánok, de olyan már biztos nem lesz, mint volt, de hát miért is lenne? Hát szóval megállítani az időt, az hülyeség. Beautiful. Rapjú, és akkor rá van szappannal a sejem összeérik ezzel az anyaggal. Van itt művészet, látjátok? Itt volt az én koncertem kétszer. Ez a koncert. Én mindig nagyon szerettem, és most is nagyon szeretem, de már 85-ben azt gondoltam, hogy halott. Itt egy kísérletet tettek arra, hogy megállítsák az időt, ami sajnos egyrészt nem sikerült, másrészt egy ilyen illúzió, hogy mégis jól lelassították itt az időt. Jó, beszívtak, és akkor észre se vették, hogy eljöttem egyszer ide a nagyherceg Januárral, Paksasos Jánossal, az azt mondta, hogy én még ennyi lusta embert életemben nem láttam. És igazán ki is takaríthatnának most már végre.